All right, guys. So today is a very, very interesting day in the CS2 world because as you can see here, I just screen clipped this from my CS2 game a couple of hours ago. Today is that last chance to claim this offer, 25 Armory stars for the M4A1S Solitude. That is going to be expiring probably sometime today, later today, whatever. But right now you can still get it. It's your last chance to kind of cash in on this thing. But a ton of people have been asking me, what should we do about the M4 Solitude? Is this a good short-term investment? Is this a good long-term investment? Is this something to stay away from? Should you go for the normal one? Should you go for the rare pattern? Should you go for factory new? Whatever. We're going to be talking about all of that and plenty more in this video today. But of course, first, just want to mention my cash trading business. If you guys are looking to sell any of your CS2 skins, tournament of cold hard cash, crypto, PayPal, whatever, hit me up over on Twitter or Discord. Those are both going to be linked in the description below. We have a giveaway going on Discord right now, so make sure you join that before that runs out. But we're always looking to buy anything and everything for the right price, but of course, always trying to get the big deals done as well. So if you guys have any gloves, knives, bulk cases, expensive items, maybe you want to sell your entire inventory all at once, whatever, hit me up. We can get you cashed out safely, effectively, and efficiently and get a big deal done today. With that being said, let's get right into this. So the M4A1S Solitude, do I think this is a good investment? Do I have a storage unit full of 1,000 of them ready to go? Am I buying these things up, now that they're going to be a discontinued item or whatever? What the heck is going on? And I think the best way to look at this is see what is going on with some of the other limited edition items. Again, this is not the first limited edition item we're seeing. We don't have, super long-term data on the other limited edition items, but obviously the Desert Eagle Heat Treated has been discontinued for a while. Even the XM Solitude's been discontinued for a while. So let's see what was going on. We had first of all, one of the other things is that a bunch of people are like, oh, they're getting ready for the next limited edition item to drop and this and that, whatever. But again, you need to keep in mind, okay, the Desert Eagle Heat Treated got removed on January 14th of 2025, at least according to Google. Then we had the XM Solitude getting added on April 1st of 2025. So again, from here, January 14th, 2025 to April 1st of 2025, this was like, what is that, 2.5 months? Something like that. It took 2.5 months before we got the next limited edition item. So do not be expecting this limited edition item. Maybe you're new. Maybe you just joined back after the market crash, whatever. I don't know. Don't be expecting a new limited edition item today. That is likely not going to be happening. Again, we also just got the Armory update in like October, September, whatever. We're probably months away from another big Armory update. We're probably at least a couple months or maybe, a couple weeks. I don't know. Obviously, we have the Budapest Major that I'm sure CS is getting ready for and prepared for right now. And then it's going to be the holidays and stuff. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't really be assuming or expecting we're going to get too much of anything until probably 2026. I don't know exactly when their vacations and all that stuff ends. But again, this got removed on July 15th of 2025. And then we finally got the M4 on August 14th of 2025. So it was like 2.5 months between the first two limited edition items. Then it was like a month between the next two limited edition items. But again, it's not the same day. It's not the same week. It takes at least a month before they get the next item ready to go and in the shop. So just because this M4S Solitude is getting removed today, there can be times in the Armory with no limited edition item at all. That is kind of the precedent that has already been set. But what have the returns been like since these things have been removed? So we have the Desert Eagle Heat Treated. Again, was removed on January 14th, 15th, whatever, 2025. That's what I have pulled up here. Factory New was selling on Steam at that time for $86.31. And right now, today on Steam, selling for $92.86. That means we've seen about a 7% gain over the course of the year. This is about, what, 10 months, something like that, seeing a 7% gain. Now, hey, 7% a year, that's not horrible. That's not bad. You can get that a lot less riskily in like the stock market or something like that. And if we're going to be taking on all the risk of the CS market, we probably want to have better than 7% returns. So overall, the Desert Eagle Heat Treated and Factory New, if you just bought them the day that this thing was, released or became discontinued, it hasn't really been that great of an investment so far, but will be a great investment long term. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see, but at least so far, there's been much better place to put your money. Now, if we look at the field tested, again, this thing was $5 when it was removed. We are now down to $2.40. Now, I know we did see a steep drop off in those couple days after. So if you even want to, maybe go down to this low a couple days later, then we're looking at like 29% gains. But that's not really telling the full story of like buying it when it was removed. So I don't know. This thing, either way, I don't think it's been that amazing in like field tested or anything like that either. Again, here's from January 14th to where we're at today. A lot of times been pretty flat. This is not, and it's just kind of exploded recently also. If you look at like from October, things were really not looking good. It was kind of dropping down and down and down. I don't know. To me, the Desert Eagle Heat Treated has not been a very great investment. I don't think it's going to be a great investment going forward in the future. Again, there was so many of these things created. We can look at the numbers here in a second as well. I have the CS Float database pulled up. There was 751 1,000 of these Desert Eagle heat treateds created. And yes, I get it, it's pattern based. Yes, you got blue gems and piss gems and whatever, all this other crap. But a lot of them look very, very bad. The average Desert Eagle heat treated does not look very cool. And there's a lot of them that look exactly the same. And yes, there are some blue gems, but there's a lot of blue gem patterns. There's a lot of different things going on here. There's so many. Again, these are not rare. There's not like really that rare of patterns or anything like that, with just so many of these being created. And even the rare patterns, even the blue gems, even some stuff worth overpay, whatever, it was already so expensive by the time these things got removed that there also wasn't just a lot of room, for these things to go up and increase further and further and further, especially with the amount of supplies that we're seeing. Again, typically my investments, I would like them to have as many positives, as many good fundamentals as you possibly can. Again, some of the things I'm potentially looking out for are things that are old, things that are rare, things that are discontinued, things that have a decreasing supply, things that already have a low supply, things that have a stable or increasing demand level. And like when I look at something like the Desert Eagle heat treated or any of these limited edition items, it's like, are they old? No. Are they rare? No. Do they have demand? Yeah, kinda, but I like, do these Desert Eagle heat treateds have like, increasing demand or really strong demand? Like, no, I don't necessarily think the Desert Eagle heat treateds, even the blue gems, they're not like one of the top Desert Eagle patterns. They're not something that people really love. They're not like something that all the pros, who have like these huge inventories or unlimited inventories, whatever, are using. There's still a ton of pros who are, preferring the Blaze or preferring the Emerald Yermangander or preferring the, Fennec Fox or whatever. And like, I honestly would prefer all three of those over even a blue gem Desert Eagle heat treated as well. So it's not like this is like a best-in-class Desert Eagle or anything like that, especially for some of the prices you see. We'll take a look at the blue gem prices in a second. So I don't know. It also is a decreasing supply. No. Doesn't have any utility. No. You can't do trade-ups or anything for it like that, at least yet. Maybe the Desert Eagle heat treated trade up into gold is coming soon. I don't know. But for me, this isn't necessarily something that ticks a lot of boxes for me. Maybe it ticks some boxes. Maybe it's an okay investment in some ways, but I just really don't think it's all that great. And also, again, if you do want to talk about rare patterns or blue gems or whatever, I also created a video the day that the Desert Eagle heat treateds were removed, so I can actually take us back in time and see what the prices were for even stuff like that back then. And you can see here, this is tier 1 blue gems in factory new. We're going for $1,580. And if we look at those right now, tier 1 blue gems in factory new are going for $1,452. So from the time that the Desert Eagle heat treateds were removed, when discontinued, tier 1 blue gems in factory new, the prices actually decreased. Now, I know you might even be saying, okay, well, what about like the best pattern and stuff like that? This is pattern 69 that I was tracking. It's not the number one pattern, but it's one of the best patterns. This is one of the ones with the most blue. And again, at this time, these were going for $27.27, and right now these are listed for $28.07. So we've seen less than $100 increase. And again, this has almost been a year since the Desert Eagle heat treated has been discontinued. So you're looking at close to 1 year performance for these Desert Eagle heat treateds. It has not been good. The Desert Eagle heat treated so far has been a pretty bad investment. Now, again, in the next coming years, will it do amazing to outperform this? I don't know. Again, if you're paying $2,800 for a Desert Eagle heat treated, pattern 69 factory new, you're gonna need this thing to go to like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 to have, a really meaningful percentage gain, especially when you have other stuff in the market like discontinued armory stickers, charms that might go discontinued soon. You have cases. You have the discontinued case and the gallery case. The fever case that might go discontinued. You have rare drop pool cases. You have trade up skins. You now have coverts to trade up into golds. Like, you have so many opportunities. This is one of the craziest times for CS2 investing. We have so many different options to pick and choose from. Why would I want all my money tied up in these Desert Eagle heat treateds? Now, the interesting thing, again, we can start to look at also the XM Solitudes. Again, these got removed on July 15th of 2025. Since these, to today, these are down in factory new. These are also down in field tested. These have not been a good investment either. But what's interesting here to me is that the M4 Solitudes actually have a higher supply right now. And again, these are not even discontinued yet. This is still your last chance to redeem these, which I'm sure we'll be getting a fair amount of redemptions today. 751,000 Desert Eagle heat treateds and 826,000 M4 Solitudes. Again, the Solitude, this is for a couple reasons. I think one, obviously it's an M4 skin. Two, it's a pretty nice skin. It's pattern based. People like the different patterns, trying that out and stuff. But also, we are now at a period where the armory's been out, for over a year. People have a lot more stars saved up. When the Desert Eagle heat treated came out, everybody had 0 stars. Now, people have a lot more stars than they had back then as well. So, star inflation and stuff like that is definitely a real thing. But we can say, for 25 stars, these were like $10 a pop. Valve made over $8 million on these M4 Solitudes. But again, we almost have 1,000,000 of these total in the game. We are getting closer and closer to that number. It'll come up short of 1,000,000 for sure, but there is a ton of these out there. And yes, are there some cool patterns? Are there some rare patterns? Whatever, yes. But again, would I think that those are going to be a good investment? No, absolutely not. So am I buying up M4 Solitude today? Do I think they're going to be some kind of, hidden sleeper, amazing long-term investment? No, absolutely not. Yes, these things are limited by the amount of time, limited edition item. They're limited by the amount of time that they're in the armory, but they're not a limited edition item in terms of supply at all. Again, we were talking about 826,000 of these. Like I said, I think this is a nice skin. I think it's a cool skin. I think it's very clean. I like that this exists. I like that it's easy to get in the armory, all that stuff. I've been using it as a play skin when I've been playing CS because I think they're pretty cool. And if you have a cool pattern, some of them actually look pretty decent. But that does not make it a good investment. That does not make an investment grade. That does not mean that the opportunity cost and risk reward ratio is worth it when you have so much better opportunities right there out there right now in the CS2 market. So even if you were trying to get this as a play skin, I don't even know if I would be buying it right now. You can probably get it cheaper at some point over the next couple of months, over the next year. But especially if you are looking for, some investment where you're trying to load up a bunch of money all into one thing at once, I would not be going for these M4 Solitudes right now. I don't really think any of the data or anything out there shows that. And again, as far as what the next limited edition item is going to be, again, don't be expecting anytime soon, maybe a month from now, maybe something like that. But there is a lot of speculation and stuff like that going on right now about what that next limited edition item is going to be. Now that golds are easier than ever to get, now that Valve has shown, they don't necessarily care about the rarity of golds, could we be getting some kind of limited edition knife or gold into the armory? That would be very spicy. That would be crazy. Could we get, the case hardened twin blade or the heat treated twin blade or whatever? Maybe. Could we be getting some other kind of, pattern based knife or gloves? Potentially, that would be pretty spicy. I think they're opening up the door for more and more, things that they could potentially do with golds. Now that, like I said, they have the covert trading up into golds, so the rarity is way, way, way down. Also, another thing that people have been maybe looking out for is the AK-47 heat treated. Obviously, that would be pretty insane. That would definitely shake up the, AK case hardened blue gem market and stuff like that. So this would be another crazy and interesting thing to watch out for. I know Arrow had a video where he was talking about maybe limited edition agents or pattern-based agents or something like that. There's so many different possibilities and so many, skin makers that have been hard at work trying to make really, really cool ideas to be the next limited edition item eventually added to the armory. And I'm sure Valve is going to be cooking up something crazy because you can see, again, when they have a good skin that hits, it sells millions and millions and millions. Again, you have 700,000 Desert Eagle heat treated, 800,000 M4 Solitudes. Then something like the XM Solitude only sold 103,000. So when you give the people something good on a good skin, it makes a lot of money. So Valve definitely has that incentive there. There's a lot of ways they can make this thing go even crazier. But as far as an investment goes, it is a strong, strong, strong pass for me. I own one single XM Solitude at this point. It's something that I unboxed day one as a part of like content in a video and something like that. Other than that, I bought no XM Solitudes. I'm holding no XM Solitudes. I don't plan on holding any I meant M4 Solitudes the whole time. I don't hold any XM Solitudes or M4 Solitudes or Desert Eagle heat treateds. And that's the way I like it. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.